getting at with the book script? Spit that shit out, man!
Do you want to form an alliance with me?
Absolutely, I do. Excited.
Go outside, nerd. Get out. Go.
Oh my God, I did not think he was going to do that. That scared me. That actually scared me a little bit.
It's called Two Brothers. Two Brothers. It's just called Two Brothers.
And a black guy.
Welcome to a brand new, spanking new, exciting episode of Two Brothers, and we are joined once again by
A black guy, Maurice Hawes of Maurice Records. What's up, y'all? We back.
Yeah, it's been a minute, Maurice, since we recorded, right?
I know it's been like probably I want to say like a month and a half, something like that.
Something like
around
that,
there.
Yeah. When was the I think what was the last one we did? I don't even
We
remember,
did it
bro.
with Josh, with friend Josh.
It was top five.
Top 5 greatest movies.
It was movies, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, got you.
This one's going to be an exciting one, but before we get into that, to everyone who does listen to our podcast, I just want to, off the top, thank you.
We appreciate it.
You are what keeps us going.
We hustling.
Please share this with your friends. I know that we're still relatively small, but we are ready to keep this going, putting it at the next level. And it's all up to you guys. So please share this with your friends. Tell them about Two Brothers. If your friends love shit like pop culture, video games, movies, comic books, this is the podcast to be right here.
Yes, sir.
'Cause it's only going to get better. We're only going to continue to make some great episodes.
Prophesy.
Yeah.
So
Speak the word.
Be here for the. I was going to say Inception, but we've been here for a minute. But, so follow us on all our socials. It's called Two Bros on Instagram. Same thing on Facebook, but I'm going to be honest, not really posting too much on Facebook, Maurice. You can kind of attest to that a little bit.
Yeah, no one fucks with Facebook anymore. So follow Instagram.
Follow Instagram.
We're gonna get these fools on TikTok soon. Not yet, but it'll probably be called the same thing, right? It's
Yep.
called Two Bros.
It's called
Yeah.
Two Bros.
But
From
yeah,
now
no.
on, whatever social shit we do, it's gonna be called. It's called Two Bros.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we're to add on to that. We are on all streaming platforms. So anywhere you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Listen, wherever the fuck they are. We're everywhere.
Yep.
So listen to it. We're on YouTube as well. Share it and come mess with your boys' music. YouTube.com/Maurice Records. Link is in the bio of all episodes. I'm out here hustling too. But yeah, man, share it everywhere. Listen to it everywhere. We got hell episodes. We got even more episodes, and we're like he said, we're only getting better this year. So yeah, come fuck with the squad, yo. It's awesome.
And talking about growing together and talking about us doing this shit. Let's get into it. So I came up with this idea for this episode because, well, you're reading it right now, but I was reading The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. I don't know if you've heard it, Maurice.
I like Rick Rubin.
It's a really great fucking book.
Okay.
Really great book. And
Rick
it
Rubin's
gave
one of the
me-
greatest, bro.
He gave me the idea to be like, how about we just all sit around, me, Edgar, Maurice, and talk about the creative process.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since, dude, so a little bit of background. I obviously I enjoy watching your music videos, listening to your music. Weirdly enough, though, I don't think I ask you enough about the process that comes with like creating music, writing it.
Fair
where
enough.
the idea comes from, and
Yeah.
vice versa, I guess. So I think this is really what this episode is about. Kind of how we did the mental health episode is this is just a conversation between three creatives, and we're just going to talk about the struggles. Maurice has some questions for us that we can get into, the highs, the lows, our aspirations, where we see ourselves, why we do it. You know what I mean? That's the fucking number one question, right?
Your why is everything, bro.
So
Gotta have direction.
Maurice, you've got some questions. How about we kick it off there, dude?
Absolutely, bro. Yeah, so I have so let me see. Let me double check here. So I got 1, 2. Okay, so I have 6 questions total. So 2 for Alberto, 1 for you, Edgar, and then the rest of them, like the last 2, are for both of you.
Okay.
So
All
yeah.
right.
But yeah, so let me see, which one here do we want to do first?
Which one sounds I'm ready, dude. I'm ready to get into this shit.
All right, Edgar, I'm gonna throw you on the spot a little bit.
Okay.
We're gonna do your question first, all right? Because we can all talk. But anyway, so yeah, so when I first met you, like I'm just like I see you as like a I don't want to say chameleon, kind of chameleon, like a jack of all trades creatively, meaning like you're willing to like you just hop in like however I can help, you know what I mean? Which is awesome because a lot of creators are like so hung up on like I'm a director, I'm a writer, I'm a rapper, I don't do this shit, you know what I mean? So like I really like that about you. But anyway, with that being said, like I know you're willing to do almost anything like creatively. So what lane do you see yourself in the most, or do you just want to like get into several aspects, you know, of it?
Into it. That's a good,
you know what I mean?
Like,
what do you like? You more writer, director? Is there some music I don't know about? You know what I mean? Like, what do you see yourself in? Like one particular like dream, or do you want to just kind of have your hands in everything?
God
you know?
Damn.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm being interviewed here.
Yeah, that's what we're doing, bro.
Point.
That's what we're doing. Yeah.
At first, Albert would make fun of me, and I told you this. I feel like I'm more like Rick Rubin.
Oh God, here we go.
I am. What does Rick Rubin? He just gives you the ideas of what to do. He asks you like how about you do it this way? Or,
right.
You're doing it well this way. That's how he is, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm not going there. But
Rick Rubin's the man, though. He's the man. Yep.
For the moment, I saw myself just like that, just a visionary. That was it. I wanted to be behind the camera and help you shoot. Like, how about we do it this way, or how about we do it that way?
Right.
But now that I see that I have more of a creative mind
than you thought, or what?
Yeah, I keep coming up with ideas every other day. I pitch them to you, and you pitch them to me. Yeah. And like you said, you don't have time to write the ideas I got. Yeah. So I'm starting to. I want to start writing my own shit too.
So like screenwriting.
Okay. Or
whatever, you know.
Whatever, yeah.
Comic books, maybe.
That's what we'll get into.
Yeah.
It's just I feel like I've been letting those ideas like not die, but they're fading in a way.
And you want to capture it.
I want to capture those and
make sense
and write it down before I forget. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Hopefully that answers the question.
Well, I mean, if I could
go ahead,
interject. Just speaking off of what you said about like capturing those ideas and stuff like that, dude, it is a very difficult thing to sit on an idea and just be like, is it worth pursuing? Is it not worth pursuing? You know, at least when I've done screenwriting and like wanting to write a movie, dude, like it's just I get a lot of ideas and I just don't know which one to pursue.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know what I mean? And it takes
what's
a lot
the best
of time,
one?
You know?
Right.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time to just to capitalize on it and writing it. You know, like it takes up a lot of space, a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
So you say you've been journaling though, right? You've been writing it down?
Just writing my thoughts down.
Oh, okay. It could be good to also write it down too, like what.
That's what I was thinking too. You know,
like that. So I mean, I do that on my phone all the time.
All the time,
mm-hmm.
religiously.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just felt like I wasn't. What's the word I'm looking for? I thought I wasn't too smart to like.
Have you seen the fucking movies that come out nowadays? A lot of them are not very smart. And they're written by fucking morons. Okay?
They're not.
I think we'll touch it later.
The smart ones don't even do well, sadly. You know.
Like
so.
we'll talk about it later. Maybe it's probably one of the questions or something. Like it's that inner
critic
in yourself. Like,
yeah.
Is it worth it?
Your own worst enemy.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done listening to that. So I'm just gonna write my shit down and start. Hopefully writing my own script and
yeah.
So
if I can offer a piece of advice with that, because I know you're already doing it a little bit.
Yeah.
So you use the notes on your phone, like
sometimes.
Okay, yeah. So either whether it's notes on your phone or like your journal, like create like a folder or like an organization. Just say like movie ideas, screenwriting ideas. Even if you think it's stupid, write it all down. And the reason why is because you never know what you're going to come back to, and you're also not going to forget. It's actually a Bible verse I live by, like I said, religiously. Hate to use that word because I'm not religious, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Habakkuk 2:2, and it's write your vision and make it plain. if you write something down, that's the first step to actually turning it into reality. So even if it sounds corny, whatever you want, even if it's just even if it's just like a T-shirt you want to buy, you might forget to buy it because you didn't write it down, right? Mm-hmm. So whatever you want, whatever's in your mind and heart, write it down like immediately. And I actually do that with like with rap lyrics. Like sometimes a bar will come to me and I'm just like, oh shit, that's dope. So I have an entire tab on my phone of just random bars that I haven't used yet. And so whenever I'm writing, I go back and find one, copy and paste it, and it's like, oh shit, that works. You know what I mean? And I just keep doing that constantly. So always write your ideas down, everything, even if it's just a couple notes. So
the one, I think we talked about it the last one we were Maurice. And I like the feeling what you guys reacted to it.
That cowboy,
the outlaw.
Oh yeah, the Western one, bro. That is so fucking cool,
bro.
That's
still in my head. So.
Yeah, man. Do you have a title for it? Because we didn't get a title, did we?
I think we did, didn't we?
Did we?
I don't know. If we did.
Yeah, I mean, because we can't call it Tombstone because we know that was taken.
Right now, we're talking about how we're gonna write this shit down. You should have wrote it down if you had that title.
Yeah, bro. Oh man, I don't know. Like,
I don't think I had one. I don't think. I just pitched the idea like, oh, I'm thinking about this, and you guys are like, hell yeah.
I'm gonna, because I have a tab in my notes for Two Bros. I'm gonna write some names down for you, because I'll pitch them to you. You see what you like, and I don't even need credit. I want you to take it because I want it to manifest. Damn it, it's so cool. It's so cool. No one has shot a Western like a video game. I need to see that. Right? It's awesome.
It's a good idea, dude.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's a good idea.
It is so awesome.
What do you want? To ask another geared towards me, or should I ask you a question, Maurice?
Maybe we should just do every other. So like, I've asked you one, you asked me one, I asked you one, you asked me one. We can kind of talk too. Yeah. So,
I'm just this is like I said, coming off the top of my head, but this might be we're getting deep into it now, but
straight up.
How do you deal with writer's block when it comes to writing songs and like lyrics and stuff like that?
Excellent question.
The output, because I say that because the output of how much music you're putting out, just from the outsider's perspective, it seems like, damn, like he's on a roll. He just keeps making this music. But you have to have had that moments, right? Like moments of writer's block. So how do you overcome that?
Awesome. Well, great question. Also a very common one. Well, there is an app on iPhone called Rhymer's Block. It helps out a lot. Now, obviously, I don't do ghostwriting. Like, I'm old school in that way. I'm an MC. I write my lyrics, period. But, you need tools to help you along the way, right? So there's a couple ways that I don't encounter writer's block just because based on, like, my process and, like, how I do things creatively. So I have a mix of, actually, let me start with Rhymer's Block. My bad. I said that and then went back to another thing. Rhymer's Block. So really good app. Really good app. So basically one of my principles, one of the ways that I keep my songs fresh is one of my principles is that every new song I need to incorporate at least one new word, like one new rhyme, because a lot of the times when you write a lot of rhymes, there's certain lines that you repeat because they're like a part of your brand, and obviously like the most repetitive parts are the hook and like the pre-chorus, you know what I mean? Yeah. But you find yourself like, and especially within hip hop, or I mean pop too, music in general, it's just a lot of the same shit, right? And you don't want to, I pride myself on standing out and not just blending in, you know what I mean? And the hip hop that I love the most, which is mainly underground 90s shit. I like some modern stuff, but like that's really where my primary influences are. Yeah. I love music that pushes the boundaries of lyricism, you know what I mean? Because like a lot of music I feel like is pushing the boundaries sonically, but lyrically there's still something missing, at least for me, you know what I mean? So anyway, I incorporate one new word with every song. And then what that does is, you got one word, and then you got two, and then you got three, and then you got four. You got this whole new word bank, and then all of a sudden it's just like it's just a whole fresh thing now.
Does it break the cycle for you of writer's block?
I mean it's definitely very helpful because what Rhymer's Block does, the app, what I'm talking about. Any MCs out there, swallow your pride, download the app. It's awesome. Anyway, but so what Rhymer's Block does is that you'll have a word, you'll enter a word into like the app, and then it'll give you a word bank of words that rhyme. And like I'm talking like 50 to like 200 words, right? Well, obviously, it's going to be one word in there that's going to fit your song that you haven't used yet, right? Mm-hmm. So then you just use that. And then also what it does is that it highlights your rhyme schemes. So if you have a repetitive rhyme scheme or you have a double entendre, it'll put that in purple and blue, so it'll color code everything for you. And then you can just kind of build out your song that way, you know? Mm-hmm. So that's really helpful.
Do you pick out the words that like lyrically like do make sense, or?
Yeah, I mean, like usually, I mean, I don't just pick random words, right? Like I want to pick words that like fit the theme, you know what I mean? But as long as it's a new word, it's cool. Usually, like I will try either using a word that I know that I haven't used in a rhyme, and I can always check back on that because I can just type it in on my notes, or like, because what I do whenever I write a song is like I write it on my notes on my phone and the computer using Rhymer's Block, and then when the song's done, I have rap journals that I write them down physically in as like this is the seal, this song is finished, you know what I mean? That's the way I do it. But yeah, but anyway, so I'm sorry, I lost track of one. What was your question?
Yeah, it was the writer's block. How you deal with it, basically. So,
yeah.
But you kind of explained, you know, incorporating new words and stuff like that.
Yeah. But no, I'm sorry. My bad. I lost the train of thought. Like, I got it though. But anyway, so yeah, I try using words that I know I haven't used before. But then also, if I see a word that I don't know that rhymes, I'll look it up, see if it fits, and then use it. You know what I mean? So Google it, make sure that I'm not saying something that doesn't match at all, and then I'll use it from there. So that's one of the ways. I use Rhymer's Block, not for every song, because some songs are like very simple structure-wise, and then others not so much. But Rhymer's Block is, it's a fantastic app. If you're an MC, use it. And then another thing that really helps with Rhymer's Block is, this is something that kind of I feel like all artists fall into, and I don't think it's all the way bad. And when I say artists, I'm talking rappers, YouTubers, filmmakers, just any creative, basically. Yeah. When you find your lane, your niche, as they call it, you kind of just stay in it, and you do well, you know what I mean? But what happens is that it starts feeling very samey, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So with me, you know, I have hip hop, I have rock, I have new metal, I have gospel, I have nerdcore. And what that does is that it helps me rap about different things other than just myself, so that, you know, I'm not rapping about the same thing. It's not feeling samey and boring, you know, because like my audience may not notice it, but me personally, I get bored of the same old. Like I have to do something different. You know what I mean? If I drop a horrorcore rap song about the Predator, okay, well the next week it's a gospel song, and now it's a new metal song, and now maybe it's something about, I don't know, it's just something that wasn't from last time, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Unless I'm like preparing for an album or something like that. But because I have different genres, different themes, I'm willing to rap about not everything, but like a diverse amount of topics. When you expand your horizon, it really helps you like not be afraid to be influenced by things that may not directly be what you would do before, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
Because so like it's broad in a way, like my topics, but at the same time it helps me not to, you know what I mean, not to fall inside, because I feel like that's one of the things that gives you Rhymer's Block is like Edgar was saying, you're in your own head because you're like, I've already rapped about this before, I've already made this song before, I just kind of changed some of the words, and you do that sometimes, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's totally fine, you know what I mean? Like if you watch YouTube like I do, you know, like, okay, this video is recycled, but it's still good, right? Yeah. So that's not all the way bad, you know, but the fact that I have, you know, so many different genres, so many different topics to talk about, it kind of forces me to, you know, to push myself, you know, not to rhyme about the same thing, you know, because if I'm rhyming about the Terminator, it's going to have nothing to do with my mom dying, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, so I think those are the top two things that really help. Just one new word, new rhyme every single song, and also just rapping about things like always rapping about something new. And it's all fitting in with what I do, but like it's never the same thing over and over again, you know, so that helps.
Well, see, that's interesting, like hearing it from the perspective of you know, like musician and everything like that, because with it, at least with me, with screenwriting, the writer's block isn't necessarily like about same old, you know? Right. That's not where the writer's block comes from. It usually comes from I mean, let's be honest, I feel like writer's block is just the fear of writing something bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
That's usually what it stems from.
Something that people won't like.
Right. When I'm doing screenwriting, it's usually the fear of like, I'm going to write something bad. You
right.
know what I mean?
Right.
So, I mean, anyone who's listening to the episode right now and are like wanting to pursue any type of creative pursuit, writer's block can manifest in any type of genre of art form. It could be painting, it could be writing, all that kind of stuff. My advice is just to like do it, you know.
Yeah.
Write that bad rhyme or write that bad scene.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get all that shit out, the good starts to kind of pour in. You know what I mean?
Hey, if you want to plant a garden,
so
you got to use manure.
I mean,
right?
look, I got this shit.
So
give me a second, because I feel like this is a good quote that I think could be applied to any type of art form, and it comes from Jordan Peele.
Oh, Jordan Peele.
Yeah. It is, when I'm writing my first draft, I'm constantly reminding myself that I'm simply shoveling sand into a box so I can build castles later.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just...
Amen.
You just have to... That's all you're really doing, is just sticking shit on the wall until something sticks.
You gotta start somewhere.
You know?
Yeah,
you gotta start somewhere.
So
you know what I mean?
My advice to writer's block, because I know I deal with it, is just to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and to go off of that, because I mean, I never even thought about it that way, but that is also true. But to go off of that, it's not even necessarily that what you're writing is bad. It's that, you know, if you're gonna do this for real, you got to put it in the public eye, you know. And it's hard because, you know, you're putting yourself creatively into the world, and people are gonna criticize it, right?
Well,
you
that's
know?
the
you know,
what's the word, like, that's what you sign up for, right?
Exactly.
Doing this,
that's part of the deal, right? So I will say, like, you know, you will be criticized, you will be opposed. There is no avoiding that. I'm just warning you, like, that's a part of the deal. If you're gonna do this, it's no matter what you do, people are gonna come against you. We're combative people. It sucks, but that's just the way it is. So learn to accept that, not in a negative way, but in a healthy way. Realize that that's gonna happen. I actually had that experience with one of the first songs I wrote. Actually, the first song I wrote, I had a friend at the time, and it was you know, it was I don't like to call it this because, you know, I'm Christian, but I'm not a Christian rapper. But it had a very, like, Christian message. You know, basically it was about, like, you know, seeing a world being overtaken by darkness and sin, and, you know, combating against that with, you know, God's love. And he is like I want to call him super atheist. He's a negative agnostic. We'll call him that. A negative agnostic doesn't, you know, really doesn't believe in that at all. So anyway, this is the first song I wrote. This is literally the first song I had ever wrote, probably in like 6 years. You know what I mean? And so I share it with him because he wants to hear it. He's vibing with it, at least I think, right? And then he hands me my phone back and he's just like, "This is too religious for me to read. I can't do this." So with that being the first song that I wrote, obviously I didn't write again for like another year. You know what I mean? Yeah. And, you know, I shared the wrong thing with the wrong person. And, you know, he's a fan of me now, but he wasn't back then, right? So, you know, you have that experience. But, yeah, so, I mean, there's the fear of putting something out there bad, but also the fear that, you know, you're going to be criticized. And you will. But here's the thing that you have to realize, like, once you know, start honing your craft, you stay with it. As long as you love it, there will be someone else who loves it. And there will also be people who don't love it. You know what I mean? But someone else out there, if you put your heart and soul into something, someone else out there is going to connect with it. Not everybody, but the right people. So, yeah, just keep putting in the work, and, you know, the tribe will find you eventually, you know. So
before we like get into a slippery slope of just talking, do you have any other questions? Hopefully we didn't answer any of those other questions, but you got anything?
Not yet, no.
What's the next one?
Yeah, so you want one for both of you, or should I just ask you? Both? Both? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, no, this is a tough one, but what?
Let's go.
Yeah, we're in it, bro. We're in it. You know, we chose a tough life, so you got us, Lord. Anyway, but what are the ways of, at least from what you've noticed thus far, at least right now, what are the ways of thinking, acting, behaving, and believing that you personally feel may stunt your excellence, like, as a creator or as creatives?
So the things that, like, would not be as helpful?
Yeah.
You're saying?
Yeah.
The behaviors and shit like that?
Any of that stuff. Anything that you feel like, what distracts you, what pulls you off path, what's
we
thing,
talked about it,
know?
right? Like, the writer's block thing is a bigger...
well, even anything that's, like, not creative, because, you know, everything you do is going to affect your life in some way,
I was going
right?
to say that stems from the whole inner critic thing.
Right,
you know?
yeah.
I think that's a huge roadblock that I still kind of
you deal with a lot, yeah.
You know, is the inner critic thing. You know, we just got done talking about, like, putting your stuff out there and things like that. At least from when I'm writing my scripts, I have a bad habit of like writing it as though someone is gonna like read it. Like, oh, I'm gonna send this over to fucking
Like someone's looking over your
AMC,
shoulder.
Or like this is gonna be an.
You think Quentin
A24
Tarantino's watching you write?
Yeah, that kind of thing. And when you're writing that way, it's not healthy.
Yeah,
Man.
no,
you
it's
know,
not.
you have to write it, and that's the biggest, like the hardest thing to do is championing your own work
Mhm.
and being happy with
Yeah.
it, first and foremost before anyone else reads it. Like you have to be
You have to love it, yeah.
love it, and even if you do share it with people, dude, like be fucking excited about sharing that shit. Because if I just told you, Maurice, that like, oh, I'm writing this screenplay, it's a horror movie, you just be like, that's cool.
Yeah.
But if I'm like, dude, this is a fucking like unique idea, it's about this person, this happens, and like if I'm sharing it with you, like like excited, you might be like, oh, this guy's like, he's really passionate about this thing.
Yeah.
I want to hear more about it.
Well, you know, I
So-
support anything you do. So, you know, even, you know,
Yeah.
because, you know, horror's not even my genre, but I mean, if it's for you, I'd read it, you
Well,
know.
like
So,
the
yeah.
reason why I bring that up is because like if you find yourself in a position where you are pitching it to like an executive or something like that, you can't just be like, yeah, I wrote a horror movie, and like the moment you start speaking without confidence, that executive's gonna be like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna let him finish, but I'm done.
You got to, yeah, you
You
got to
know,
believe in
you
it.
gotta be-
You got to
you gotta
believe in
believe
it. You have to believe in
Yeah.
it, for
What
sure.
about you, Ed?
So,
Shit, like I said, I'm just the Rick Rubin of the group. I just give you the ideas and
Yeah, but I'm sure you deal with like shit that gets in the way of like
right.
the creative process for you, you know?
well,
Feeling like you're not gonna make it or whatever.
shit, I don't know. You
Negative
got me on the
self-talk.
spot there. Just stemming off what you said, like being confident. You know, I'm reading Robert Rodriguez's book right now, Rebel Without a Crew, and he just like you talked about it. He's pitching El Mariachi,
Yeah.
and that's what
I
he
still
said.
need to watch that. I'm sorry, y'all. I've seen every Mexico movie except for the damn first one. I'm sorry. I do have it. I'm watching.
And that's what he told himself too. You got to be confident when you're talking to like executives and like telling them like I shot this film under this much money and I submitted my short film to this festival. Yeah, you got to be confident to what you're doing, you know, and that's true. You know?
And it's not even like pitching it to an executive or anything like that, but if you're sharing it
In any
short
way.
film or anything, you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
have to be like confident in it, and just like this is the fucking coolest shit ever. Like,
Right.
and I know it, and you know, it's just a matter of convincing people that it's also really good.
Right.
You know, Scott Snyder, who's like a comic book writer that me and Edgar like read, and like I fucking worship the guy. Like, almost, you know? But he always says like write what you would want to pick off from the book stands. You know? Like
Yeah.
don't write something that's gonna pander to someone, or you even talked about it too, like not wanting to stay and like be samey. You know,
Right.
writing the same shit that other people, like standing out.
Yeah.
Just write something that you would want
to
to
hear
see, or write
hear.
something you'd want to hear.
That's something a lot of creatives do say. Like, I don't know if you guys know Marquez Brownlee, the YouTuber. He does tech reviews, but he said like he had a I think an interview with Mr. Beast actually, and they said like, you know, what would be your advice for upcoming YouTubers? Like, create the kind of videos that you would want to see. You know, I think the same way about music. Like, I'm just making what I would want to hear. You know.
Yeah, but
So,
it's a simple
Yeah.
rule, but like a lot of people don't follow it.
Yeah, and
because
it's
they want to be a part of the crowd,
Right,
You know, and it's
right.
like, you know, just it's okay to be different, and it's okay to write.
No,
Something
I mean, you got to make what connects with you, you know. And if
Exactly.
you make it with that, you know, because if you're just copying a formula and you're doing everything and that thing works and you don't like it, you're kind of screwed now. Because like you made it, but you're not doing what you really the way you want to do it. You know what I mean? And like that's not good. Like I don't want to be Future. I don't want to be Cardi B. I don't like those guys. No offense, but they're just not for me. You know what I mean? Like I gotta do my thing.
Flip
So
side too with
yeah.
like directors. I mean, I love Quentin. I love Martin Scorsese. All these guys, but I'm not
you're not them,
them.
right?
I have
Yeah.
to be.
You
I
got to
have
be you.
Alberto.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I want.
There's only one.
Yeah.
There's
So,
only one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, do you have anything on top
No.
of that? That's really it, huh? Yeah. Well, let's move on.
All right.
Well,
Okay.
So I have another question for you.
Yeah.
In terms of music. So this is gonna sound like a simple one, but why? Okay, I'm gonna frame it as if I'm a critic.
Okay.
Why do you still continue to push for the type of music that you're making? You know, I feel like you are in a niche, you know, where you're writing music that's like, for example, like the one that's from people who are listening right now. You just dropped a new track, right? Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
What makes you want to be like to champion that like that lane that you're writing that type of music? What keeps you
Nerdcore.
going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a good question. Well, I think one of the this is going to be a bit of a cop-out at first, but I'm going to answer your question, I promise. I think one of the things that people, like, if you go through my catalog, and you guys know this too, I'm not exclusively just a nerdcore artist. Like, I'm doing a lot of nerdcore this year more than, like, ever because I'm preparing for, like, the biggest nerdcore record I've ever done. But, I mean, I have other genres. I can rap about pretty much anything, you know what I mean? But you're right, there's a lot of nerdcore, you know what I mean? But, so, I mean, there's the fact that I have like the fun side, and then I also have, you know, the deep side with the gospel and the conscious stuff, and you guys know that, you know. Mm-hmm. But one of the reasons I think nerdcore is like such an important genre, you know, we're and this goes for hip hop, this goes for really like all aspects of just like music and life. We're in a very, very superficial culture, you know. Everyone just wants to do the same thing, say the same thing. And this goes for, you know, religion, corporate America. It's just, you know, blend in, don't stand out. You know what I mean? And I think really what we created, we're creating just a system of people who just don't want to be themselves, you know, because the moment you are, you know, no one wants to be the lonely one, right? So one of the reasons that nerdcore for me is so important is I think the root of it, not just like my love for pop culture. Nerdcore is important because you're being yourself. You know what I mean? And a genre that encourages you not to, right? Because I meet surprisingly, there's a lot of artists who really fuck with what I'm doing, but I'm pretty sure there's a few who are like, you know, oh, hip hop is about the hood and it's about this and, you know, gangsta shit and, you know, your stuff's not relevant.
Which is what,
you know, right?
Which was what I was gonna say.
Right, yeah.
What made you gravitate towards this specific genre?
Right, yeah. And I think that's one of the main reasons was, you know, I'm just being myself, you know, and kind of like with, you know, the fact that, you know, I'm an openly Christian artist who has cussing in his music, right? And I have my reasons for that. But, well, I love the Lord, but I also got to be myself, right? So I think I really, if anything, I want to champion people to, like, have the willingness to, even if people, not everyone fully gets it, not everyone fully accepts it, like, you know, and this is actually advice that you gave me, Alberto. It's like, as long as you stay true to you, like, people may not connect with every song. You may not connect with every song, but as long as you stay true to you, like as long as you stick to your guns and you know why you're doing that, like people are going to rock with that more than, you know, you selling out. And if you sell out, you'll be okay, but you're also going to kind of lose like not only your core fan base, but the core of who you are as a person, not just as an artist, you know? So I want people to be themselves, man. I strongly believe that, you know, Jesus made each one of us a unique creation, you know. No person is supposed to be like the other person. Like I believe we're all uniquely and beautifully, wonderfully made, and we have to channel that. You know, we have to really present that to the world. And I feel like if you're not willing to stand on something that you really believe in, then you know you're not really doing that. So yeah, I think nerdcore is important because it encourages people to be who they really are, even if the genre surrounding them says that what they're doing isn't important. And it is important. It's very important, you know?
Would you say that in that nerdcore genre, there's people who are being themselves? Because you just said, like, it's a genre that encourages you not to be yourself, right? That's what you were...
It was just hip-hop as a whole.
Oh,
hip-hop as a whole.
Okay,
right.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Like, you know, like...
Makes sense. All right.
You know, assume that... I mean, I don't know. But assume that a guy from the mainstream, like a gangster rapper, you know, assume like someone like Playboy Cardi or Future or Drake might hear the Breaking Bad song and be like, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry if that was being confusing, but when I say a genre that encourages you not to be yourself, I'm just talking about music as a whole. Yeah, hip hop music as a whole. You know what I mean? That can go from music, but specifically hip hop. And like I understand why. I understand the culture. I understand the history very, very well. You know what I mean? Like people feel the same way about. People will say that rap metal isn't hip hop because there's rock in it, but the reality is it's still hip hop. It's just not the hip hop that you want to accept, right? So the subgenre nerdcore is what I'm saying. Encourage people to be themselves, even when the genre as a whole is like, nah, let's just stick to the basics. You know what I mean? Right. So that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah. So
all right. Dude, you haven't asked me personally a question, Maurice. I feel
okay, cool. I feel left out.
What question do you have?
Yeah, bro. Let me see. I feel like I kind of know this one, so let me ask a different one. This one might be quick, so if you answer this one quick, I'll ask you the next one. But what's your next book gonna be about, and when is it dropping?
Oh goddamn.
This man's written 2 books so far, y'all. And they're pretty damn good.
First, tell them your first 2 books and
about my first 2 books.
Just throw it out there, like the title.
Oh shit, that's right. Yeah, for people who want to read it,
read them.
This Is Love,
especially the most recent one.
You can buy it on Amazon. You can buy it on Ex Libris Publishing. I believe that's what it's called. That's where I got my first book published. Barnes and Nobles as well. Closers is exclusively on Amazon. You can get it digitally. You can also get it soft cover.
Closers is damn good.
I forget how much it costs, but it's not expensive. So don't worry, you're not breaking the bank if you buy my books. Dude, look, let's be frank then, okay? So I haven't looked back at Closers since
you finished it.
Well, not even just since I finished it, but since I finished like marketing it and putting it out there.
Right.
Dude, it's so exhausting writing a novel. That book took about 2 years to write, and I did that intentionally because This Is Love I wrote within like 8 months. And you can tell.
Right.
You can tell. It was a book that was needed more time to cook.
Right.
As they say.
Right.
And Closers,
let that man cook.
And Closers was I took my time with it. And I think the disadvantage of that was there was points when I was writing it, I was like, I don't know if this is what I'm vibing with.
This ain't all the way right. Yeah.
Because I was like, let's switch it over to something else. Let's write something different. But I stuck through it and wrote Closers and finished it. But man, it's an exhausting process. Especially if you're doing it by yourself, which I would recommend if you want to just like do it for fun, write it and publish it by yourself. But it is tough. Yeah. There's a lot of things that you don't expect to do while you're writing a book, like
same with making an album, bro. So I'm right there with you. Yeah, man.
Formatting, doing like the index, doing what else? Fucking editing it. Yep. You're doing it yourself, and then publishing it. It's like a whole thing, which I was not ready for. I was really focused on just writing it.
Right.
So with that, I don't know when I'm gonna write the next book. I do want to at some point write another book. That'd probably be my last.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have like 60 fucking like Stephen King books in me. I'm probably gonna write one more. I do
especially some screenplays then.
I do know what it's gonna be called though, and just like what my first book was called, it would be called This Is Growing Up. Okay. Don't know what it's gonna be about.
Coming of age, maybe?
Kind of coming of age, but we'll see, and maybe then that wouldn't be what I end up writing anyways. So right now my focus is on writing screenplays. At some point I really do. You know what? I think I want to write comic books, man. Like
Okay.
I think that's something I really
like write the stories and like the bubbles or
okay. Dude, just, writing the drafts and everything. Yep. Which is a whole creative endeavor in and of itself. You know, writing a comic book, but and Enter can jump in on this one too, but there's some points throughout your journey of filmmaking or whatever where you kind of have to just accept that, like, like for example, when I was doing filmmaking, I at the time was really wanting it to be like, oh, this is something I can fucking submit to Sundance and people are gonna see it, and by next year I'll do a full feature film, you know, and all that. 'Cause you have these dreams of grandeur.
Been there. Yeah.
And when you're shooting the shit that you're shooting at the time, and it's not reflective of what you had in your head, it's very discouraging.
Yeah.
You know? So I had to put the camera down and sort of just accept that, like, at least at this point, I'm not gonna like film anything.
Right.
And I found that like my strength was writing over filmmaking.
Right.
And that's why I wrote This Is Love. That's where that came from.
Okay.
Was stepping away from the filmmaking, which was hard to do.
Yeah. You focus so much time and attention on it. I feel you. Yeah.
And
it hurts a little bit. Yeah.
Edgar and I had this conversation a few days ago where we were just like, where did it all go, man? Like, why aren't we filming anything anymore? You know, like Edgar was talking about how he was like itching to like film, even if it was another El Camino episode. Like, let's go back and let's just film something.
El Camino and a black guy. I'm with it.
And we'll talk about this after the episode.
We could I know I shouldn't say this like while we're filming, but we could totally incorporate El Camino in Two Bros. I'm just saying. El Camino did stuff. That's where the channel started, right?
That is.
We could do it. We could do it. It would be funny. It would be funny.
But
you know, I actually do have some ideas for it too.
God damn. We haven't thought about El Camino since we ended it.
Dude, I know it's a super B movie. I know you guys aren't a huge fan of it, but like I love it. I think it's hilarious. I think it's so funny.
We love it too. But
yeah,
we're having that conversation where like I'm getting the itch again.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
You know, so I do want to step back into that realm.
Right.
Of filmmaking, but I'm also thinking about like I want to step away from screenwriting at some point so that I could try my hand at comic book writing.
Right.
Because maybe that would be my true passion, and that's okay too.
Right.
You know, a lot of people in the creative venture, it's really hard for them to accept what their strengths are, and like having a sobering kind of like reality check of what am I good at, what am I not good at, is it time for me to move on, is this even something worth pursuing?
Right.
And I get that too, and me and Edgar had that as well. You know, I think when I was shooting those short films, I think it was very discouraging at the time.
Yeah.
Just because of my expectations were higher than what I had.
What you were seeing, right? What your results were.
But now I'm like, dude, I'm ready to get back into it. I want to film something, and we'll talk about it with you, Maurice, after the podcast. But we are planning on wanting to shoot a short film.
Okay.
So that is something that we're probably going to do here soon in the near future.
Yep.
And we want to have all of our friends in it and all that. So,
cool.
But goddamn, I feel like I answered your question and went beyond the question.
Nah, man. Hey, that's what we're here for,
You
bro.
know?
You know, I know. I probably did that a little bit too, but yeah.
What about you, Edgar?
Can't wait to be in a movie again, bro. Yep. I mean, I'm in them all the time.
What was the question?
So.
I don't know.
It was.
I don't know if it would really apply to you because it was more about.
Yeah, no, it was about the book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
But like.
Well, I guess Edgar. I mean, I know you're not necessarily a screenwriter or an author, but if you were to write a book, what would it be about? Like, what would the genre be?
Are you even interested in writing a book?
Yeah.
Or?
Maybe you don't write it. Maybe, or you know what? I know you like comic books too. Like, what about a graphic novel? Like, if you could write your own graphic novel, what would it be? What would it be?
Well, I was thinking about doing a short story first to see how that turns out.
Right.
I've been fucking with that.
Short story could be a comic book, though, right? Yeah.
I've been fucking with that idea with the westerns. That's always been in my fucking head. Mm-hmm. So even if it's a screenplay, short story, I feel like it's gonna be a western.
Okay.
I just like that idea that I got, you know?
It's refreshing to have at least one friend who loves westerns as much as I do. I feel like I'm so alone in that, you know what I mean? It's like me, my grandpa, Edgar, maybe Josh. Yeah. That's cool.
Let me ask you a question there, because like you were just saying that you were Rick Rubin and all you do is really pitch ideas, but you do want to get into writing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have any questions for like for me or Maurice of like how to get started? Or because I feel like as much as you are into this whole thing like I am, if you're gonna get into writing, dude, you're basically a novice.
Yeah.
What do you have to say? What do you want to ask us I know I'm putting you on the spot, but
Yeah.
this is what it's all about. You know.
Well, how do you start? That's the thing. Like, what's
Maurice, well, go on. No,
no like what do you go first? Do you go straight to doing the screenplay, or do you do like beat by beat what you're gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually a good question.
That's why like if I was gonna do a short story, that's different. You can just start writing the fucking thing.
Right.
But like as a screenplay or a comic book, it's kind of in the same realm of it. Is how do you start that? You know, because a screenplay, you got to do interior this, and then dialogue, and so on and so forth. So
I mean, but now I'll let Maurice answer it too, because I'm also interested in how his brain works when he's like creating stuff.
Yeah.
But the way that I do it, like how I write a screenplay, is I figure out the story first. I figure out the ending also. I feel like that was a weak aspect of my writing, is that I never.
Do you want to know what the ending is?
Yeah. Or I would write my screenplay, and I wouldn't know what the ending is.
Huh.
And I would stop right there.
Right.
And I'd be like, oh, God, well, let me recycle that and start again. So
that is hard though, man. Like just thinking about it, because like when I used to write screenplays, shit, I had the same problem. I don't think I've ever written an ending. Honestly, bro.
One of the toughest things for writers is finishing it.
Yeah, because the ending can really make or break a movie, bro.
Yeah.
Like it, yeah.
So how I start is I think of the ending before anything else. I used to think of the intro.
That's smart,
how it starts.
Yeah.
I think about how it ends now. Not all the time, but I do that.
If you get the ending first, you're more satisfied with going forward. Yeah.
Right. And this may seem like a lot of busy work, but I figure out the characters. I write their backstories. I don't give them fucking boring ass names. This may seem like a throwaway thing. Like, what? This is not. Search fucking names, dude. Search names and pick one that has never been used.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like about the words, new rhymes. Yeah, same thing.
Right?
Yep.
Pick I know it seems like a throwaway thing, but think of good names.
Yep.
And
don't just make another John. John Wick is great, but there's a million of them.
Get attached
So
to it. Write down their backstories.
Right.
And then from that point, I plot out everything that happens in the story. So I think about so how I have it set up in my computers. I have a document for Act 1, a document for Act 2, and a document for Act 3. And in Act 1, I put what's the dramatic question. I write that down, and then I write down what happens in Act 1. What's the inciting incident? I answer those things, and then after that, bullet point by bullet point, I write it down what happens in each scene. Okay. And I do that for Act 2. I do it for Act 3. I don't even worry about the page count. A lot of people worry about it has to be 90 pages, 110 pages, and that's the sweet spot. And when you're writing your first draft,
fuck it.
It's fucking 200 pages. You're writing the novel first. And I heard Quentin say this too. He will write shit that will never make it to the screen, but it makes it it's a good reference for the writer. So write all that background shit, all that history, all of that. For example, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the novel. There's a whole 2 chapters dedicated to the show. I think it's called Bounty Law or something like that. I don't know if I might be incorrect, but he dedicates a whole fucking chapter just about the history of the show. I'm talking about the story of the show. Who's the bad guy? Who's the good guy? Oh, this will happen to this person. It never happens in the fucking movie, but it makes the book, because as a writer now you got the encyclopedia.
He probably got some inspiration for it though, because you got to know the world, right?
Yeah.
That's
so
true.
That's how I would do it. Dude, is even if it seems like busy work, to just write everything down, the history, all of it, and then it will make it so much easier when you actually write the script.
Hair colors, clothes, relationships.
Well, not even that. I feel like that shit you could probably do without.
Okay. My bad.
But no, because I used to do that shit too. I'd be like, he's wearing a Star Wars shirt, and he's like, but if I'm pitching this to someone and they're reading it, no one's gonna give a fuck what.
Okay, that makes
t-shirt
sense.
they're
That
wearing.
makes sense.
'Cause,
So
like,
just the important stuff, basically.
The important shit. Because
Yeah,
if you write,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, he's got green hair, it's like, what if you cast an actor who doesn't want to have green hair?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's like unimportant shit.
Oh,
Right.
Okay.
The way I look at it is like the first draft is you're throwing all the fucking puzzle pieces on the table, and you're just trying to like
Put them all together.
put it all together. That's how the first draft is, you know, and that's how I would look at it. Is you're just playing with a bunch of puzzle pieces,
Okay.
and just have fun with it too. You know, like don't be discouraged. Write it for yourself, and yeah, and then oh man, finish it, dude. Finish it. You know how I am, Edgar. I never fucking finish it. You know, there's lately I have been finishing my scripts, but
There's a
I
lot
used
you
to- I used to
haven't.
have a
Yeah.
bad habit of not finishing my scripts. You know.
Yeah.
But over to you, Maurice. Like, how do you get from inception to the idea of a song to
Completing it.
releasing it? Like,
Yeah.
What's the process look like for you?
Yeah. Well, first it's going to depend on the song. So for example, nerdcore is fairly easy because like I pick to talk about characters and universes that I'm pretty familiar with. So like for example, today not out yet. So if y'all hearing this, consider yourself special. But today I recorded a horrorcore like Wu-Tang style rap song based on the T-1000 from Terminator 2. It's called Liquid Swords. That was hella easy, right? Because I mean, I breathe Terminator 2 at this point, right? Yeah. So all I kind of the way I approach nerdcore is like, so there are some like some songs that are nerdcore songs that are about the character, but then I also find ways to incorporate like myself as well. You know what I mean? But not so much with this song. This is a straight like villain track. But the way I kind of approach it, like voice acting. So like I can't sound like Batman, but if Batman was a rapper, what would he say? You know what I mean? I can't sound like Neo from The Matrix or what's this dude's name from Shaun of the Dead?
Sean?
Yeah, Sean. I can't sound like him. You know what I mean?
What's the name from who's Sean?
But you know, if people from Shaun of the Dead was a rapper, or even like if Edgar Wright was a rapper, what would he say? You know what I mean? Something like that.
Is that how it starts? You think about like you try to get into the mindset of the character.
Yeah, either the mindset of the character, or I think of if there's a theme within the story that I feel like I connect with personally. Yeah. That's pretty easy. So for example, "Set Me Free," the Max Payne song. Well, I lost my mom to alcohol last year, and Max Payne is a drug addict, and he also kills like 200 people a day. And you know, you're not supposed to drink rum with Percocet, so you know what I mean. So and so I witnessed my mom doing that stuff, unfortunately. So that really connected with me because I could, you know, the theme of it, I could put myself in Max Payne's shoes really easily because, you know, my mom wasn't a murderer, but she was an alcoholic. You know what I mean?
There's got to be characters where you're just like, this is a lot. Like, my parents didn't get killed. I'm not a like billionaire.
Right. Yeah,
so
I mean,
how do you get in your mindset for characters that it's like, there's no way that you can possibly relate to like fucking Predator or like Terminator? Like, how do you start to attack it from that angle?
Honestly, it's more fun. It's more fun to rap about like the character, because like the way I see it is, you know, there's two sides to every story, right? Like every like without a great villain, you know, there's no hero, right? There's no arc. I don't even like to use that phrasing. We'll say protagonist and antagonist, but you know what I mean? So, as much as I love rapping from the perspective of, you know, the Teen Titans, one of my most streamed songs is the one where I rapped from Slade Wilson, and it was fucking awesome, you know, and it was a lot of fun, you know. Yeah, I like putting myself in like the shoes of like someone that I wouldn't necessarily relate to, you know what I mean? Like rapping as Spider-Man or Captain America is awesome, but rapping as Thanos, you know, that's like, oh shit, I can't commit genocide. I don't believe in that, but like it's pretty fun to rap about, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's just like I mean, yeah, it's in a way that's kind of like acting too, right? Like I'm not this person,
you get
but
to play this other person,
right? Like I kind of put myself in that role, and it was also really cool because like I feel like that. Not only has it been like the Blades of Chaos, that's my Slade Wilson song. That's my most streamed song on Spotify right now, and most used on YouTube as well. Like not only was that like one of my most popular songs, but it was kind of a transition as well, like in my music, because it showed like I may not agree with the perspective, I may not like what they say or what they do, but I can tell their story. You know what I mean? And that kind of goes back to filmmaking, because like I always love to tell stories, and like if you're gonna tell the story, you gotta really get in it. You know what I mean? Like Leonardo DiCaprio on playing what's his name, Mr. Candy from Django Unchained. You know, he even said in interviews like, I hate the fact that I had to say the N-word so much, but I mean he's a plantation owner, right? So he had to do it, right? So if you're gonna really dive into the character, you got to dive into him for real. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's why I think of it like voice acting, when particular genre. You know,
I'm curious though, like, so when you're making the music, like we just talked about like the first draft, and
yeah.
Is there, when you go into the studio and you're like making the music, how long until you land on like the beat for the song where you're like, this is it?
Yeah, so I don't make any of my own beats. I do what's called leasing, which basically there's a platform called BeatStars, and a lot of these producers are on YouTube as well. But basically I just go find whatever beat fits the song, or at least like, I hear it in my head, and then lease the beat, and then the beat's ready to go to the studio. So the beat's already ready. I don't go to the studio unless the song's ready. I am charged an hourly fee. It's grandfather discount, very reasonable. Shout out to my boy Alex Hazel. He goes by Somerset. Love you, bro. Appreciate you. You're awesome. But
so you don't you don't cook up your own like beat, or
I was thinking about that like when I was working on the first record, because I used to be a perfectionist. I'm not a perfectionist anymore. I'm already an overthinker. Being an overthinker and a perfectionist is not good. And I strongly believe there's no such thing as perfection outside of Christ. So when people say this thing is perfect, I personally disagree, because I don't think there's any such thing. I understand why you're saying that. I just don't believe in that. But anyway, and perfectionism was like, it was a humble brag for me. But then there was also the fact that I wasn't getting anything done. You know what I mean? We kind of talked about like that fear of like making something bad, or like the fear of rejection. That pretty much had a hold on me for a long time. So I just had to let that go. Plus, at this point, I feel like leasing beats, even though people are going to kind of like, they want that rapper that makes their own beats or whatever, that's their expectation. As there's kind of a charm to that now, because producers got to eat just as much as rappers do, right? And like I actually know a lot of these guys. Like, we work pretty closely. Some are based in Colorado, some are based in LA. One producer, at least from a lot, is based in Germany. One's based in Poland. I worked with
shout out to our fans in Germany. I looked up on our statistics.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got a few fans from all over.
Cool. All right. See, you never know. I worked with.
Why are you laughing at that? What's wrong with that? We got fans from Germany.
We got fans from Germany.
Like I said, we have fans who are the N word. You know what I mean? We're fans from Germany.
No, I laugh because it. Not laughing at.
Hey, what's up to our Canadian brothers?
Yeah,
too?
yeah.
No, just kidding. Go ahead.
No, it's just. And I laugh because in excitement, like that's cool. Like,
yeah, it's awesome.
It's awesome to know that.
Cool. Yeah. But anyway, I worked with the new metal producer from Brazil for my song Aftermath. He actually did a custom beat for me, and it turned out really good. But yeah, that's kind of part of my charm now, is just
so
leasing from other producers.
You don't have any like interested in wanting to like let me make my own beat for the song? It's
as much as I would love to, I just feel like it would be too time consuming with what I got to crank out. You know what I mean? Because, like you were saying earlier, you got to know your strengths and your weaknesses. I know what I'm good at when it comes to music and creativity. When it comes to music theory, producing, could I do it? Yeah. Is it the best idea for me to even dabble in it? No. Because I don't want to fall back into that, I got to make everything now. It's like, why? You've got like 200 songs you didn't produce, and they're great. You know what I mean?
It's interesting that you bring that up, because like when you first started this whole journey, like you did the YouTube thing where you would do like the gaming channel. Mm-hmm. You had some stuff where you were kind of like reacting to stuff for a second there, and then on top of that did the music. Yeah. And looking like as a friend, I'll tell you straight up, I was like, this is a lot for Maurice to like do. Like he's doing too much. Basically, I was like, I help. And I wanted to tell you at the time, like, Maurice, maybe you should step back a little bit.
Yeah.
But I wanted you to, like, figure that out organically, for you to be like,
I'm so incredibly glad, even though my stubborn ass, it took me 2 years. I'm so incredibly glad that I figured that on my own, and that I was actually able to tell you that because with me doing film, gaming, and music, all starting out the gate, and also getting back into the loan signings at the time that I was too, which I'm getting back into recently. But that's a whole another thing. It's another thing that leads into what I'm doing now. But but anyway, yeah, no. The one person who told me that this is too much was an asshole, and he also wasn't very supportive. So I couldn't receive what he was saying, but he was right. So yeah, but no, yeah. So that back to the structure question. Like when it's a nerdcore song, it's I really just put myself in the shoes of whoever I'm rapping about, and whether I relate to the themes of like their story or not, I just find a way to not just like, it's not like a retelling exactly, but like, how can I like talk about this character, but this is still uniquely something that I would say, you know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, really put myself in their shoes. Now, when it comes to the more like gospel conscious, emotional stuff, I'm just writing from the heart at that point. And even with the nerdcore stuff, I was saying writing for the heart too, because like I said, I want people to be themselves, and there's lines in my nerdcore stuff that is about me, but it's also about the character. So in its own way, it all kind of blends together. But that would be the first thing. It's just like depending on the genre, like is this about me? Is this about a character? Is this about an event that like I'm completely impartial to? I'm not taking perspective from anyone, or maybe I'm talking from a perspective of one person and like a bystander, like news reporter kind of, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends on that. So that'd be the first thing. And then next thing for me, one thing my friends I make music with, and really like my fans too, I get a lot of compliments on like my hooks and my pre-choruses. People really like them. They think they're really catchy,
Mm-hmm.
The hook is like how would I describe it? I guess in film terms. I guess in your case, Alberto, it would be like the ending. Like you have to have that before you have anything else. Yeah. Not every song has hooks. Like some songs are just like straight verses. You know what I mean? But the majority of my songs they're gonna have a hook. So the hook for me is like the substance, the foundation of the song, because it's what you're going to hear the most. It's what people are going to repeat the most. It's what's going to be like most remembered for. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I'll ever be in the club, nor if I even want to be. But in the event it was in the club, that's the part that people are going to, you know what I mean, hype up the most, repeat the most. So that would be like that's the foundation of the story, the summary, really like if I don't have a good hook, the rest of the song, like, yeah. So usually I if the song has a hook or a pre-chorus, because like, with the rock shit, you got like a pre-chorus, a hook, a bridge sometimes. So usually I try to write that first, because that gives me that gives me the foundation to write everything else. Like if I have a great hook that I know, like, I'm good, I can repeat this, I love this, then the verses just kind of come more naturally after that. So
okay,
yeah,
that's cool. What? No, like,
That's another question or what?
Oh yeah. What other questions?
Oh yeah, another one. Okay, yeah, another one from you for you. Okay, let's see. Okay, Edgar, I got another one for you. I didn't even see this one, but all right, cool. You've just been graced by our good Lord, Christ Jesus, with your very first. I mean, you worked for it, obviously, but God's blessings. With your very first $1 million. How are you going to invest this life-changing amount of money into your creative process?
God damn.
Hey, man, we cutting deep out here, bro. We cutting deep.
Essentially, what would you do if Jesus gave you $1 million?
Think specifically about the creative process, but I mean, you could talk about whatever you want, I guess, too.
Yeah.
So
I actually did think about this. If I did have the money,
yeah,
and I think you already know this. I already told you, like I would invest in our podcast.
Absolutely.
Everything. Get a fucking studio for it.
Deck it out. Yeah, get like our own space, like our own office we could go to. Yeah, absolutely. Dude,
I've
been dreaming of that too, though. I'm not going front.
We'll have separate bathrooms for me and you, and then separate fountain.
Might not be the worst idea,
And I want to challenge ourselves if we did have that money.
Mm-hmm.
Do what like Robert Rodriguez did. To have a budget just for a movie and see how far we can go with that.
Yeah, that's a good idea, man.
You know,
Yeah.
I like
even
that.
though we have that $1 million, let's say we only have 20,000.
Right.
Shoot
How
that
can
movie.
we fucking work with that?
Right.
Which is interesting that.
Oh, dude, that
budgeting
sounds fun.
is
That's, I mean, it
that-
sounds super stressful, but also really
yeah.
fun.
No,
That's-
that's
Yeah.
yeah.
I'd probably do the same thing with like an album budget too. Yeah, like see how far can I get on, I don't know, like maybe just 50K, you know? Yeah.
Mhm.
So
No, yeah.
yeah, that's awesome.
I thought about that. I don't know, like what else? No, that's. pretty
So
much
yeah,
it.
so invest in the
it's-
podcast
yeah.
and then also budget for a movie
Yeah.
and see
Yeah,
if
make
we
a
can
movie.
complete it basically.
Complete it,
Right,
yeah.
right.
Me too.
Right.
I think
Type
I do the
shit.
same thing.
Yeah.
I just probably just invest in the things we're doing now. Try not to go overboard with it.
Yeah.
You know, and use it as kind of a safety net for like. Still do it the way I've been doing it, but if there's any roadblocks I could throw money at and to just get it out of the way, I'd probably
Yeah.
do it that way.
Be so much less stressful, bro.
Yeah.
For sure.
Anything that I can just be like, this costs me. Okay, I got the $1 million. Let me just get this shit out of the way. And I
Right.
keep going, so it doesn't get in the way of the actual like
What you want to do.
what I want to like,
Exactly.
do, what I want to write,
Yep.
and stuff like that. That's a good one, dude.
Yep.
No, that's a good one.
You? The same thing you say?
Yeah, I mean, so first, I mean, I think, am I allowed to talk about anything outside of creativity, or should we just keep it at that?
I mean, I was gonna say like, even if it's $1 million, like, are we able to use it other than just like the
Yeah.
creative
Oh
shit?
yeah, get my own fucking place.
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, $1 million isn't gonna really get you that far in this economy right now.
Yeah, not
It's still a lot of
really.
money. I'm just saying, like,
Even a
compared to-
crib's gonna cost you $500,000. So honestly,
Something, right? Yeah.
Well, okay. So if we're sticking purely creatively, obviously I want to do a lot more than just that. But if we're sticking purely creatively, yeah, I would say, music first. Marketing is a big thing. I'm doing well with it, but it's also very expensive, right? So I want to probably get like a pretty specific marketing budget for whatever releases I got coming that year, EPs, albums, you know what I mean? Do some stuff that I like Alberto said, kind of get out the way that otherwise I wouldn't be able to music wise. So
like those financial roadblocks.
yeah. So music, entrepreneurship. I'm gonna throw my signings in there, like with me getting back into real estate, only because that's gonna be a big financial foundation for me to continue doing music and just life in general. So if I can invest more into that, which I will be soon, obviously that'd be great, you know. And then, yeah, honestly, bro, like whatever you guys do, like with Two Bros, like, you know, I'm a big part of this. Like I consider this a big part of what I do creatively. I love Two Bros, so I wanna throw some bones down on that too, you know. Shit, like, yeah, I mean, I don't really know if we should bring many other people into this, if I'm being very honest, but like, let's get some guests, bro. Like I know some people that you know, I mean, they're mostly based in music, but I know some people who would enjoy being on here, you know what I mean? Maybe we could pay someone off, get a celebrity. I mean, we'd love to talk to Tarantino, right? You know, I know you guys more than me, but I mean, like, I'd still be there for that, right? You know, so music, business, podcast. We'll leave it at that for now. Because, like I said, I got a whole vision board and bucket list. I could go forever.
Yeah.
All right,
But yeah.
What else you got for me, Maurice? What
Yeah. So, what was the other question I had for you? Let me see. I feel like I kind of already know this, and we talked about it a little bit, but assuming that you haven't told me already, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who are some writers, directors, filmmakers, YouTubers, game developers that inspire your creative process the most? Like, or who inspires you the most creatively?
Yeah.
You know, like, who are some of your favorites? And like I said, think outside the box. It doesn't have to be just filmmakers, like any of those things, you know?
I gotta go.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith?
Just
Okay,
like
yeah. I knew you. Yeah, I had a feeling. Yep.
I won't get too much into it, but he's the reason why I got started wanting to write.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm gonna gravitate towards like Robert Rodriguez and your Quentin Tarantino's, and
Right.
shit like that. But outside of that, like Scott Snyder, I did mention him. He's a fantastic comic book writer too.
Yep.
Stephen King as well, when it came to like writing novels and shit like that. in game developing, I mean, Edgar's heard me talk about this guy a lot, but like Hugo Martin, he's the creative director of the past 2 Doom games that have come out.
Oh, okay.
He's
Doom
a
and Doom
fucking-
Eternal. Doom Eternal is one of my favorite games of all time.
He's
Period.
a genius, dude. I'm telling you.
Period. I love
hearing
that
him
game.
talk about the creative process behind like making Doom and Doom Eternal. Like,
Yeah.
oh, like he really opened my eyes into just being like, dude, just have fun with it.
Right.
You know, like that was the whole concept behind
That's what
the-
Doom's all about, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I
That-
mean,
that
it's
was the whole-
strategic as hell, but it's awesome. Yeah.
That was the whole thing behind 2016 was that like just to get back to basics, have
Right.
fun with it, and just don't take it too seriously and shit like that.
Yeah.
I saw that and was like, yeah, you know, like I start to kind of attack it from that angle when I'm writing scripts. It's just like, dude, just take a step back and realize how crazy this plot is, and
Right.
just have fun with it.
Right.
You know,
Embrace
lean
your
into
world.
it, you know,
Yep.
so those are the ones that come off the top of my head. Obviously, Rick Rubin, we brought him up in the beginning of the podcast, but he's a huge, more like recent inspiration
Right.
in writing. And I don't know how to say Shawn Michaels from WWE. Just kidding. No, yeah, probably those guys. You know.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, who are yours?
Yeah. What about you, Edgar? Who are your influences?
Besides Jesus Christ, obviously.
Yeah, of course. You know, the one and only. Thank you, Lord. We grateful.
Fuck it. I'm just gonna put this out here. Growing up, role model I look up to. It sounds stupid, but like
It's Barney. I know. It's Barney, and we all know that.
the lead singer from Korn, Jonathan Davis.
Oh, Jonathan Davis. Okay. Okay. All right.
He really, I felt like you understood me in a way. You know, the way he would talk about mature things that other fucking artists wouldn't do at the time. So I appreciate that a lot. It got me through a lot of fucking dark times.
Korn is fucked up, but I fuck with it. You know, yeah. That was actually one of the first like nu metal bands I got into. Like back in high school, it was Limp Bizkit, and then soon after that, Korn. Yep. Yeah.
So it's still someone I look up to because
Yep.
you know he was there since I was.
You just grew up with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Exactly.
I can't go out with saying Ron Rodriguez, you know, because he's Mexican. You can look up. He's Latino.
Too.
Yeah.
It's like someone that is our
Our
race, our people.
people.
Can do it.
Right. Right.
He gives
Right.
us like if he can do it, and
We can do it.
we can do it too. You know.
Yeah, that guy sold his fucking body to science. So like,
Yep.
come on.
That's yeah. I read that.
Yeah. Well, we don't agree with that, but you know, yeah. That's how.
he had to do what he had to do, man. Okay.
No, that's what he said.
He sold his body to science.
He had to do it to have the money to do the movie he had to do.
Oh, you talking about like he did like experiments and stuff
Yeah.
to like you know what, that's fine, honestly. I mean, like there's worse ways to make money, right? You know what I mean?
He was
It's
a fucking hustler, man.
I mean, it's for a good cause, right? You know, he had to make it though somehow.
Yeah,
So
he would
okay,
do
I thought you were
anything.
talking about Scientology. My bad.
No,
So
no,
no. So that's fine. That's
No,
cool.
he's-
That's
yeah,
cool.
he's-
I don't know if I do that personally because holy shit, but I mean, I respect him for that. You know what I
we
mean?
love you,
Yeah.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah. We love your movies, Tom Cruise. I don't know about you, but yeah.
Hideo Kojima.
Yeah.
Metal Gear and all that.
Right.
I like the way he thinks. I feel like he gets us in a way
Yeah.
with his crazy fucking ideas he makes up.
Right.
I don't understand it sometimes, but
Yeah.
Another one is John Carpenter.
What a huge
He has a
fucking
Yeah.
special
influence,
place in
man.
my heart. That guy is so
Yep.
fucking cool.
Director of Halloween,
Pioneer.
right?
Yes.
Pioneer of fucking horror movies.
Yeah.
For a moment there, I don't have it here. We had a little piano, and for a moment I wanted to be what he would. I wanted him to compose music.
Oh, he composed all of his
Yeah.
He
stuff
composed
too.
all
Yeah.
of his shit. Well,
Yeah.
I would say if there is one, maybe just like one he didn't, but
No, I think he.
I think he did all of it, right?
I think the only one he didn't do was the Thing. Actually, he directed the Thing, right?
Yeah, I think
There
Yeah,
you
so
go, that's the only
That one he was done by Ennio Morricone.
Yes,
Yeah. So
I like that, and it kind of. I still think about that.
I said Ennio. I'm sorry, Anicio. I'm sorry, my bad. That was so gringo. Anicio Morricone. My bad.
I still think about that.
I love
if
you.
I want to go back to composing music, because he made it. He makes it sound fun.
Yeah.
You know, simple.
Especially considering he's not like a fucking music geek or anything.
He's not.
Yeah.
He's just a regular dude.
He just makes it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, those are.
What about you, Maurice? I know you have a laundry list.
Dude, yeah, I have too many. All right, I'll try to pick like 2 from each category. So I have written down. Let me see. Okay, give me a second, y'all. Actually, you know what? I might have a savory list here. Hold on, let me see.
I mean, the fact that you have a whole list like written up.
Yeah, I tell you, I write everything down, bro. It's what I do. Most. Hold on. Give us a second here, guys. Okay. Influential creatives. Here we go. Yeah. Man, I have a lot. So give
us the speed.
Yeah. I definitely can't name them all. I probably shouldn't, but okay. For in the world, we'll start with just my stuff. In the world of music, top 2, I'm gonna say Vinny Paz, the Jedi Mind Tricks, favorite rapper of all time to this day. Mm-hmm. When I found the underground, it's like I found my home, and that's another reason. Like I'm like to kind of go back to you were saying like pioneering. Like I really pride myself on like rapping and just talking about things that other artists like aren't in the mainstream at least aren't willing to. And when I found underground, like I really like, you know, you feel like you're alone until you find the people that really connect with you. When I found underground music, I was in a really dark time. I was in college, and I'm just like, you know what, like, yes, like this is my unit. You know what I mean? So yeah. Vinny Paz, Jedi Mind Tricks, like, yeah, that's my dog. And Hans Zimmer, of course. I've been listening to him since 8th grade. I remember the first soundtrack I heard from him, the first 2 soundtracks I heard from him was Inception, Dark Knight, Modern Warfare 2, and Crisis 2. Crisis 2's epilogue is still fantastic. So that would be in the world of music. In the world of filmmaking, Steven Spielberg, Christopher Nolan. I don't need to say more. For YouTubers, there's a decent amount here too, but I'm gonna say,
I know Corey Kenshin is one of them.
Yeah, he's definitely one of them, but he came a little bit later. So for YouTubers, I'm gonna say King Vader and Dashi. King Vader, I was just like, I like the way he blended like pop culture and hip hop. So like he's a filmmaker, but like he also does like some nerdcore stuff too. But yeah, I saw him in a few interviews. He's actually from Chicago, which is where my family's originally from as well. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, man, I like the dude's style. He's real cool, you know.
No,
and Dashi, of course. I mean, like I've been watching dudes since 7th grade.
Most
so, like,
unproblematic YouTuber.
Right. I've been watching that dude for like 12 years now.
I want to say for Dashi, dude.
Yep.
I don't know if you want to like agree. We found him during the pandemic, and
okay.
He made it fucking
bearable, man.
Bearable.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, so I gotta fucking thank him for that.
Yeah.
We would watch his videos religiously. When we found him,
you just couldn't stop, right? You just couldn't stop.
Yeah.
So I know you guys know Dashi Games. Have you seen his skit channel?
Yeah. That's
oh my God, this dude.
When I watch him, I'm like, oh, this is like when we do El Camino. Like this is so much fun.
Oh my God, bro. It's dude. Oh man. So man, Dashi, like, your boy helped raise me, all right?
Right.
So, yeah. But, yeah, and then let's got YouTube's. For comedians, Lavelle Crawford and Steve Harvey. So, and one more if I could throw out there, YouTuber, Forest Fire 101. He's actually the first YouTuber I ever watched. He's a Lego stop-motion animator. As far as I'm concerned, he pioneered Lego stop-motion animation, and he doesn't get enough credit for it. He's fantastic.
All right.
So, yeah. But there's a lot. Okay. There's too many, but yeah, those are some of the top ones. So
all right, let's start to move towards the end here. I do have a few, well, maybe not a few, but I do have a question just right now. So for you, Maurice, what is this is gonna be a loaded question, but this is more like looking into the future.
Yeah.
What do you think is your dream project? If you could, out of your whole discography, what is going to be your To Pimp a Butterfly? What's going to be that record for you? Which one are you like thinking about? Have you thought about that? Like, what's going to be the record that like
that you're most known for, like the most essential record.
Or
Yeah.
the one that you want to put all your like love into, even though I know you have in the past, but like,
Yeah.
what would be your dream album?
You know what? Yeah, I think I actually do kind of know that, low key.
In other words, what's the end game for right now?
Yeah. So I mean, so the way I see it, like my debut, now I do need to talk a bit about my discography, like my discography to kind of answer that. Like, well, my debut, as a debut, it is great. I don't like it as much because I had to work on it for so long and I had to remaster it. And generally speaking, it's not nearly as good as anything I put out after that. Red Dawn, my second record, up until what I have now, I consider all that great. I think it all improved on each other and continues to do that, which is awesome. This next record I'm coming out with, definitely biggest project yet. Even though it is huge, like the vision for it is just so crazy. It's like it's nerdcore, but it's also based more around history, both U.S. and world. So I think the way it encapsulates like different cultures, different stories, it's just it's just an amazing compilation of everything that I've done, and also like puts forward to something like new in the future. You know, even though it's based on the past, it's also, you know, those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it. So I feel like it's always going to have, we can always learn from the past in some way. And if we're not, we're just going to keep failing. Right. So yeah. But one record that I am, it seems super impossible. One record I want to do in the future. I don't know exactly what it's going to be called. I think a working title is Journey of the Rapper. I might just call it Journey. But basically what I want to do is, and it's actually pretty crazy because one artist that I follow, underground artist, his name's Brother Ali. He recently kind of did this for his most recent album, is that he put out an album, but each music video for the album, so it's a double release. So it's a music and it's also like a video release as well. So each song has like a cool animated film to it. So I swear I had this idea before he did. I swear. What I want to do is I want to do the same thing, double release music and video, except I want every song to have a Lego stop motion animation video going with it. So like I said, Journey of the Rapper is the working title. I think I might call it someone else. At first, it was purely nerdcore. It was really going to be like video game based, but I feel like I could kind of make a way to make it, you know, more real. Like obviously, there's going to be nerdcore stuff in it. Like it's Legos. Like I can't not have like pop culture characters in there. You know, I'm a nerd. I can't help it. But like I don't know. Even if I don't know, I can make a Lego stop motion animation video and song about like my first girlfriend and my first breakup, or you know, or growing up in like with depression and anger. Like I feel like that would be a kind of a cool nuanced way to be like, you know, we don't talk about this in not in Lego animation, at least, you know what I mean, and to have a song going with that. So I think that is my dream record, because it's gonna be so hard to create, bro. It's gonna because like stop motion animation, like you gotta be built different for that shit. Like it is hard. I would not be doing it myself in my, you know, in my vision. Let's just assume we've already made it. I'd probably pay for his Fire 101, whatever he would charge me, and he would just make it, and I would just focus on the music and the marketing. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to do a double release music album. I'd say maybe like 14 to 20 songs, something like that. But yeah, every not they're not going to be like super long songs. Some might even be like very short, you know, but yeah, double release music, and each one has a Lego stop motion animation video. And I definitely want to go for themes that you're not expecting to see in Lego stop motion, you know, so more gospel, more conscious, but also, you know, with Legos. I think that would be awesome. So yeah, that'd be the dream record, and it's gonna happen. Don't know how, but you know, believe. So yeah. Yep.
I feel like we covered a lot in this episode, but Maurice, do you have any or do we have any final thoughts?
I have a final question, right. Although we're supposed to be talking about this more after the episode. So, but y'all getting a little bit of a preview. Final question for Two Bros Pod. Obviously, you know, we're all Two Bros Pod. Josh, if you're listening to this, you're Two Bros Pod as well. But the foundation started with you two. 3 years ago, making that first episode, which around the same time I launched my YouTube music career, which is awesome, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy, but yeah, we out here. But anyway, Two Bros Pod is 3 years old this month because y'all put the first episode out in April. I know that because I started my YouTube channel at the same time. So it's 3 years old this month. So where do you both want the podcast to be in the next 3 years? So in 2027, what do y'all want?
Damn, that is.
And obviously, I'm included in this but I mean, I'm asking you to, I'm gonna leave this question exclusive for you two because like I have like aspects of the vision that I want to incorporate, but like I said, it did start with y'all. So what do you think?
Damn, man, I don't know. That's a good question. Obviously, we're gonna keep doing this.
Yep. Hell yeah.
We'll keep recording it.
Kick your ass if you don't.
We do want to introduce a video aspect to it.
Yep.
And hopefully even do stuff other than the podcast, like maybe even like a Two Brothers like Let's Play type of thing where we kind of introduce a bit of gaming into it.
Yep. El Camino's got to come back too. It's got to come back in some way. It's got to come back.
And we're talking about like this just the channel, the channel as a whole.
Yep.
I do want to see us get back into like the filmmaking thing.
Yep.
Doing some sort of thing with video games, like whether it's a Let's Play or something.
Yep.
Hopefully our equipment and everything is just that's really it. Like I feel like we've kind of got the dynamic, me and Edgar and everything. I just want better equipment,
the gear to back it up,
the gear, yeah,
the finances to back it up,
obviously
the fan base,
to have a fucking studio and everything like that, have a bigger fan base, just stuff like that.
We need to look into that. We really do, because if we get like our own space, like the basement spot's cool, but we need more room for sure.
Obviously, I mean, honestly, I think that's really what it comes down to,
Right.
If we're looking further beyond that, if we ever blow up,
we will.
Having guests, like celebrity guests,
Yep.
people that we want to interview, that'd be great. People that we've done director spotlight. Well, maybe not. It'd be really hard to get someone like a fucking Christopher Nolan. But you know what I mean? Like having a comic book writer come in or doing something like that. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
What about you?
In 3 years, hopefully we reached our like fan base.
Yep.
Let it grow and all that. Go to cons would be cool.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Meeting our fans.
I actually have an idea for that too. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. Yep.
And hopefully gives other people that are listening now and hopefully in the future to do their own thing. Follow their passion like we're doing now, and to not be discouraged to do so.
Yep.
Yeah, honestly, that's really what we wanted for the future for the podcast is to still have Maurice on, still have Josh on, and just have a good time while we're recording. Just have better equipment, but obviously that's something we'll get to, we'll reach at some point.
Yep.
Stuff like that. So, and I guess on the topic of the podcast, we were talking about this before we recorded, but people who are listening, we do intend to do stuff like, putting ourselves up on TikTok and Instagram, maybe do vlogs behind the scenes and stuff like that. If you guys are interested in that kind of thing, please let me know. What you want to see on the podcast.
Yep.
What kind of topics you want us to talk about. What kind of shit other than just a podcast do you want to see? So that's also a question for the audience too, So go ahead and just let us know as well.
Leave a comment.
Yeah.
Yep. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I never bring that up. But also, yes, leave us a review on Spotify. You can do that too, right?
Apple I don't know about Spotify, but I know you can do it on Apple Podcasts for sure.
Just review us wherever.
That's what I listen to. So yeah. I will leave a comment, but I also created it, so or I'm helping create it. Yeah.
I guess to wrap this one up, look, I enjoyed talking about the creative process with you guys.
Yeah, man.
This could be easily a 2-parter. We can do another one in the future.
Hell yeah, yeah.
But yeah, this has gotten me kind of reinvigorated to keep on doing what I'm doing and keep writing, and hopefully Maurice too. Hopefully it's got you to get those gears going. I know you're already kind of in the flow of writing and shit like that. But
hey, this stuff encouraged me. You know, you surround yourself with the right people. We gotta lift each other up. If we're not lifting each other up, then it ain't no good. So absolutely.
But just to reiterate what I said in the beginning of the podcast, thank you, everyone.
We appreciate
that
y'all.
listens to it.
Yeah.
Shout out to the real ones.
You guys have no idea how much it means to us. Even if it's 8, 10 views, it doesn't matter. You're our people.
Yep.
You know, you are also our bros.
You are a tribe. Yep.
So just share with your friends and tell them how great this fucking podcast is.
Straight up, bro.
There's no filter, no bullshit. Well, a few things aside, we don't talk about politics.
Yeah, no. There's certain things we can't touch, y'all. We don't care.
Uh,
we love y'all, but we don't care.
Other than that, we're everything is free game. So,
Yep.
yeah. I mean, Maurice talking about bringing this up, how we're gonna be like 3 years in this month. I guess it's a good time than any to just thank the people who listen to this podcast.
Yep.
We're like almost 80 plus episodes deep now. And we do it just because we enjoy it, but we do it because there's people who want to listen to us.
Yeah.
You know, our cousins listens to it. Josh loves to listen to it.
I listen to every episode too.
So
Yep.
if you want to get bigger, man, please show your love.
Yep.
Support us.
Leave a like if you're on YouTube. Leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. I know you can do it there. Download it, save the episode so we can get monetized finally. We're almost there.
That's the big goal too. Please help us to quit our day jobs.
All right. No, for real though. on the real, like yeah. But just if you rock with us, if you fuck with two bros and a black guy, two bros and a friend, whatever. If you mess with this podcast, share it everywhere. And we will be here to continue. And hopefully this made your day a little bit better too. So yeah.
Hopefully it inspired any creatives out there.
Absolutely. So
again, it's been two brothers
and a black guy,
and we will be seeing you guys on the next one.
Peace out, bitches. Word.
Peace out, bros.
Y'all are bitches. I'm just playing. We love y'all. All right.